Hello everyone, welcome to our event, Upskill Your Employment Opportunity. My name is Devina from Superstar Education. Superstar Education is an education agency based in Sydney. We also have offices in Melbourne, Indonesia, and Cambodia. We offer comprehensive education services, and today we are so excited. We are partnering with Novitas Professional. We want to discover more about how professional year program will bring a lot of benefit for your future professional career. And now here with us we have David and Evan from Novitas Professional. Hello, David and Evan.
Hi everyone.
How are you?
Hi guys.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I believe everyone here is very excited to know more about professional year programs at Novitas Professional. Okay, David, I think we are so ready for your presentation.
Thanks so much, Defina. Hi everyone. Thanks so much for having me. And apa kabar to my Indonesian friends. Good to see some familiar faces. I'm David from Navitas. I'm going to show you my screen. Hopefully it will work. Can you guys see this? Cool. So we're really excited to be here with Superstar. Thank you for hosting, and really excited to introduce to you why Navitas Professional. We've been a leading work readiness provider in Australia since 2008 for graduating students. If you're looking for your extra 5 points, you can enroll into our professional year program to help you apply for your migration for permanent residency. Or if you're just looking for some practical experience after university, maybe you've just graduated and you're looking for some practical experience in the Australian work environment, we do have an internship program that can help you find that experience. This is our locations through Navitas. You might have heard of the Navitas brand before. We do have locations in every city in Australia, in 8 cities. And so this gives you a really wide range of employment opportunities or some experiences in internships. If you guys heard of the word internships before, it's usually a entry-level position, okay? It's usually after you graduated university, you'd be into an entry-level position, maybe in accounting or in IT, for example, learning the business, learning the work culture before you look for full-time employment. So we focus on delivering job outcomes for our students. So what you've learned at university in theory will be then put into practice in the corporate environment, for example. And these are just some numbers for you to look at that we've placed over 10,000 students previously, as well as working with 4,000 companies nationwide, all over our cities in Australia. And we provide really career assistance workshops. So you guys have made experience in sending your resume to job employment and you haven't heard a reply back. So we work with you to make sure that your resume is on top and that you can get ready for the interview process. So that's what we specialize in getting our recent international graduates ready for the workplace. These are some of the companies that we have placed students with since 2008, since Navitas Professional began. You can see some of the big 4 accounting firms there. We also work with some banks, some international banks like BNP Paribas, as well as Nokia, Siemens. This is, again, all over Australia as well. We also send students to engineering and IT industries. So if you are interested in the 3 industries that we specialize in, which is accounting, it can be in hotel management as well. We've had we've placed students in Hilton Hotel or Sheraton, for example, in the accounting department. Or if you're interested in the civil engineering and the other specializations like chemical or, for example, mechanical, we do place students in those areas. You may have seen the video while waiting for the session to start, we've placed a lot of students in our host companies. So you can see 50% of our students after they graduate that have been placed or offered a position in the host company. And a further 80% of those students who complete PY or our internship program, within 6 months, we contact them and make sure where they're at, and 80% of them responded that they have been employed. So some really good numbers there, and that shows our relationship with our host companies, that they can depend on our students once they complete the coursework. Cool. So this leads me to the coursework of our programs. So the internship is one really important component, really important part of your job career, but also we make sure you do your coursework ready to be placed in your internship. So this is what it looks like. This is to note migration related. So this is only relevant if you're interested in applying for migration, for permanent residency, and you get your 5 points at the end. In total, it's 44 weeks. In those 32 weeks, you can see here the coursework will be looking at your soft skills development. Okay, so that's networking, looking at your resume, maybe polishing up your LinkedIn profile, because there's a lot of opportunities, job opportunities in LinkedIn. So we make sure that's polished. We also work on your interview preparation. So you'll do some mock interviews with your tutor and with your classmates as well. After that, you obviously get your 5 points. And these are some of the extras that you receive on the bottom here. So free English preparation. You might know Navitas English. We do have a testing center in our campuses. You also get a business certificate 4, because the units that you've completed will give you a certificate, as well as a good self-learning tool if you want to brush up on your accounting MYOB skills, or like your engineering technical skills in AutoCAD. Really good bonuses there. And of course, ongoing counseling. Our trainers have been working with a lot of businesses in the past in professional development, so we get career counseling throughout your whole course and your internship. This is our second program, the internship program. So this is more designed for students who are just looking to get into the workplace as soon as possible, right after university. You can see here 16 weeks. 4 of those weeks will be doing career workshops. So it's almost like the professional year program that you saw in the last slide, but it's a little bit shorter, doing 4 weeks and plus 12 weeks of the internship. So another benefit is that we guarantee the internship. We make sure that we interview all of the applicants to make sure what they're looking for will suit what we have available. And sometimes, our companies do employ our students. It's not guaranteed, but in the past we've had good relations and our students have been offered a job as well. This is the current delivery obviously with the current situation with COVID. All of our classes are delivered online through Zoom. So this means also our placement companies, a lot of our companies that we work with, they offer really flexible working arrangements and internship arrangements with you guys. So usually the internship is full-time, but if you do have maybe part-time requirements, we can try to look for those preferences. But we do have some students that are working from home, or they also work on site. And of course, just to make sure that your visa arrangements are on time, because some of these programs do require a 12-month visa duration. So a visa that will allow you to work. Those are just some of the things that's required before you start any Navitas professional course, just to make sure you have an appropriate visa, and we can answer some of those questions near the end. Cool. So I just want to talk to you about the fees. With the professional program only, these are our 2 programs. The accounting program, you can see here, is $8,750, and that's a limited time offer if you enroll before this date, which is the 30th of June next year. So while that's a lot of time, we have spots filling up pretty quickly. So if you have any sort of questions, feel free to contact Superstar or let me know. You'll have my contact details near the end of this presentation. Same with the ACS, which is the IT professional year. The discount applied here is $1,000, and that's also payable in installments as well. This is just a summary of our course list and the tuition fees. I did mean to mention the short course, which is only the internship course. That's $2,000 as well. We have weekly intakes for this course. Just keep in mind that it's open for IT and accounting or finance related applications only. Cool. So before I end, I just wanted to really gain some interest on this resume workshop. So we specialize in getting all of our students ready for the industry. So we're happy to look at your resume or conduct a resume workshop if you want some hints and tips on how to secure that first interview, how to make sure that your resume is all polished depending what role position you're applying to. So we'll have the placement team from Navitas, who deals with a lot of the companies every day, to host this workshop and to tell you some tips to make sure your resume is on the top of that pile. So leave your interest below on the chat and we can follow up and hope to see you again sometime soon. Great, thanks everyone. I hope that gave you an idea of Navitas Professional. Thanks so much again to Superstar. I'll be available for questions with Evan and myself.
Thank you so much, David, for your great presentation. I really gained a lot of new information from your presentation. And I think it's great to know that Navitas Professional has many industry partners that could become host companies for all of your students. And I think it's also, excited that more than 80% of Navitas Professional graduates are employed within 6 months of graduation. I think that is fantastic number. And talking about industry partner, you got banking, you got hotel, you got retail, and I think it's so broad, and I think that's great.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's important to connect with many industries like accounting. Some people think accounting's just sort of one sort of industry, but it applies to many. We deal with banks, not only just banks. They think it's just banking. It can be in accounting, it can be in hotel management, as well as IT and hospitality, much so.
Yeah. I think we got a question here in our chat box. Maybe we just go straight away to our Q&A session.
Sure.
So here we got first question. How Navitas Professional will support their students after the program finishes?
Good question, Defina. So after they graduate, many of our students are in touch with our trainers. So these are your trainers that you'll be meeting and working with in your coursework, and they usually keep a really tight network within themselves to make sure they're applying for jobs, that they've practice what they've learned through the coursework. And it's really important to keep networks on your peers in your classrooms. You never know, you might be working with them in the future as well. So they'll be asking you to really network very early on in the stages. And we also, with that survey, with that 80% statistic, we follow up on those students to make sure that they're following up, looking at jobs. And many of them do come back to us with great testimonials, like you saw in the video.
Yeah, I think that's great. You did follow up, you did networking, you support them with the resume, with their LinkedIn as well. So you have this professional support all of the students to basically ready for their professional work.
That's right. Yeah. Just the other day, we had a few students from our placement team saying that they've had roles in banks, and I think it was ING, which is one of the banks that were offered a role. So we also keep in touch with our placement teams to find out where they've ended up in the first 3 months or 6 months. So that's always good news to hear when students get employed. Obviously, it's up to the company. It depends on the timing as well, your performance, your relationship with your supervisor, for example. But we make sure that all of our students have a good chance. And of course, the professional reference that you get at the internship is really important because that's a stepping stone for something higher, something better.
Sure. We move to next question. It's from Karunia. Thank you for the question. He asked about if not refer to Navitas internship program slide. There is a sentence delivered by Navitas professional training, not applicable to student visa holders. What do you mean by not applicable to student visa holders? So it's related to the visa.
Oh yes. So basically, if you're on a student visa, you won't be able to meet the requirements of the program because the student visa has a work limitation. And so most of our employers require our students to be working full-time or at least maybe 20 hours a week, which I believe is the limit for student visa holders. So you'll need to be on a visa that will able to give you working rights, full-time working rights. Hope that answers the question.
Sure. Next question from colleague Paul. What is the requirement to apply for this professional year program?
Sure. So the requirements are your working rights visa, as I mentioned. Most of our students are on a post-study work visa, so that's fine. Your certified transcripts, okay, has to be a relevant qualification. It depends which stream you're going into. So if, for example, if you're going to accounting, then you'll need an accounting accredited qualification. Your English, it's usually, I believe it's an overall IELTS of 6.0 or equivalent, and your passport copy. So if you're interested, if you have those three, or the fourth one is also a skills assessment from the professional body, okay? Then those are the four things that you need to apply. It just depends which stream you're going into because they'll have different requirements. Feel free to give us a call or an email and we can get back to you relevant on your interest.
And another question is if I'm from commerce background, can I actually apply for a professional year in accounting?
Yeah, good question. We would have to look at your transcripts because it has to be accounting related. So you may have units, X number of units that are relevant to accounting. So we would look at it from our admissions team and check how many of those units are related to accounting. So it's on a case-by-case basis, yes.
Okay, thank you, David. So it's possible, but you will need to assess more, right?
That's right, and just make sure that you have 2 years full-time study on your degree. So that's also the requirement, or 92 weeks. As long as you have 2 years full-time study and it's related to accounting, and you have your suitable assessment for your skills migration, your migration assessment, that's fine.
Sure. And the next question is quite interesting because I did think about this before. It's from Dia Anastasia. She asked, instead of taking master degree, what is the benefit of taking this professional year?
Yeah, so I think it depends on what your goal is, what you're looking for. Because if you're looking for migration as well, for those extra 5 points, professional year will help you with that as well. But also, will give you some sort of professional foundation. It depends on your current situation and your experience. Some students who have working experience, they might be looking just for the 16-week internship program, or migration is not so much of their priority. So the benefit of it is also to give you some foundation and to network, to expand your network after 12 months, for example. And some of our students that we see, when they develop these connections, these networks, they can then apply for roles, internships, and they might continue to do study as well after on.
So it all depends on each student situation, right? If you think you need more skill, like let's say you are from commerce background, you think you need like more, more education, you can go to master degree. But then if you more like into internship, more into like looking for a job, you want that networking, you can go to straight.
It depends. Depends on the situation. I think a master degree is a big commitment, as well as professional year, because one option is for you to study full time. But if you want to look for experience straight away, if you really want to taste sort of the Australian work culture and you want to find work quite soon, then perhaps a professional year may help you.
Yeah, sure. The next question from Patrice. It's related to this COVID-19 situation. How can a fitness professional ensure every student gets internship?
Yeah, I have to say it's all the great job that's been done by our placement team, because they work super hard these days, especially with the COVID situation, as you outlined. We have a lot of companies because we have a big team and also a big reach and the history of relationships we've had with our companies. So we're lucky that the companies we work with are offering flexible internship arrangements. So some of our but also I do appreciate that in an internship, a face-to-face experience is different from online. So it will also depend on the arrangements, your expectations of what an internship will be. Some of them are site-related for our engineers. Some of them, they have to come to the site because there's not many, office, sort of environments. There's not many, maybe social distancing isn't an issue in their company, so they can still go on site. So it just really depends on the situation, but so far we haven't had any issues in students getting placed. It might take some time to find the internship between your coursework and between finding your internship. It could take maybe up to 4 weeks, maybe more, sometimes up to 2 months. This is why we ask for 12 months on your visa to plan ahead, because our guarantee is to deliver the internship, but we only ask for a bit of patience, I suppose, during this time, because we do know some employers are slowing down their recruitment, but we've never had an issue so far.
Sure, that's great. It's such a relief to know that even though we are in such uncertain situation, but Navitas professionals still can do their best to support their student.
That's right, Defina.
Yeah. I also received some questions through my email related to the professional year program. The first question is, other than visa subclass 485, what type of visa can allow me to study professional year?
Right. Good question. Thank you. I might refer that to my colleague Evan from Navitas also to answer that question. Hi, Evan. Can you hear me?
Thank you, David. Could you repeat the question?
Hi, Defina. Can you repeat the question?
You want to repeat the question? Yeah, sure.
Please.
Other than visa subclass 485, what type of visa can allow students to study professional year?
Sure. I would say the majority of the visa holders are 45, which is the postgraduate visa, and also we accept engineering working visa, which is called subclass 476. So for that visa, it's an 18 months working visa, and candidates can apply for that working visa offshore, and also some secondary visa holders, such as the secondary applicant of subclass 482, we may take into consideration as well, but that will be on a case-by-case scenario. Thank you.
Yeah.
I also want to ask regarding if it's like a permanent resident or like a partner visa, can they also do professional year, Evan?
We would take into consideration if that's a temporary partner visa, and also because that they have the full working rights, but we need to assess, for example, their academic background and if they have Australian qualification recently. So as I said, if you are on a temporary partner visa and you would like to do professional year, please send the application or your inquiry to David or me. So we would take into consideration, and that will be case by case.
Yeah.
Sure. And the next question is what kind of career workshop? I think this question refers to when you present regarding the professional program. You mentioned about there are like 4 career workshops.
Yes, that's right. So some of the topics that we work on with our trainers is getting your resume, your online portfolio developed. Okay, your resume is not just the paper, but also your digital presence, your online presence. We look at your networking skills, your interview preparation, okay, and also the follow-up of the interview, and also looking at networking in events. We make sure that in the professional year topic, we ask our students to go to events as well, to network, to build contacts. Those are the 4 topics, as well as in the longer professional year program, we look into business communication, how to solve, let's say, business communications in working groups. So those are the 4 assistance programs that are like a taste tester from our real course. So we'd like to produce it in a maybe 1-hour session in the resume workshop for you to have to make a benefit from it, you know, so then the next day you can polish up your resume and start applying for roles.
I think regarding the resume workshop, it's very important because it's like, you know, when you apply to a company, then the company wants you first. They will see your resume first, right? So I think how you build your resume, how you kind of, you know, introduce yourself through the resume is very important skill that you need to have.
That's right. And we always strongly encourage our students to include, you know, what you're looking for in your summary. Maybe ask that you're looking for an internship, so that will increasingly increase your chances to get the interview, because the resume is to get the interview, and we want to maximize our students to get that first call. So if you make it clear that you're looking for an internship, you're just reducing friction, reducing another obstacle for the employer to contact you. So after you get the interview, it's all up to you to, I guess, sell yourself to why you're suitable for that job. But it's really good advice from our trainers, is just to make it clear what you're looking for in the resume, just to get that first call.
Yeah, sure. I totally agree with that. And we move on to the next question. The next question is, what type of companies that belong to your network?
Sure. So for our accounting companies, we've worked with some hotels. So in Sydney, we work with Sheraton and the Hilton Hotel. We've placed students there. Some Australian banks and international banks. BNP Paribas, Westpac, we've placed students before. Students have been offered a role in ING Bank as well. For our IT companies, they can be small to medium businesses. We've placed students in the NBN project, which is the broadband network that students are being placed to. as well as any businesses that require an IT support or an IT team to look after that businesses. We work with so many small to medium businesses. For civil engineering, I'm not so much of an expert on the engineering parts, but we do offer a lot of small to medium businesses in mechanical manufacturing processes. Cybersecurity is a big industry now, so we see a lot of small businesses looking for students with a networking background or a cybersecurity background to look after their network. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's great to know that Navitas Professional has very large network with the host companies for all of the students. It's so interesting to know when you mentioned that, one accounting student, it doesn't mean that he has to work in an accountant, firm.
That's right.
And one accounting student can work actually in a, design company or in a retail.
Yeah.
Depends on each one interest. That's why you have interview for each of the student, right?
Yeah, that's right. So when we, if you're interested in doing an internship with us, we obviously do an interview to make sure your interests and your sort of what you're looking for is our priority. So we make sure if let's say you're interested in the hospitality or hotel management or in the fashion industry, but you might have an accounting qualification, we can try to place you in those industries. It's not guaranteed, but we try our best to make sure your interests are aligned, because I guess the beauty of accounting and IT is every business or industry has a department in accounting or IT. So we take that into consideration as well.
Great. Yeah. It's the last question. If I'm under 485 visa and currently working in a company as an accountant, then if I join your professional year program at Navitas Professional, can I do internship at the company I work now?
Yeah, good question. I think I can answer that. Yes, you can. It's good. It's great that some students have an opportunity to work and do the PY at the same time. That's the ideal situation. So we'll ask you two questions when your internship is due. One, would you like Navitas to find a company, an internship company for you? Or two, if you're already working in your field, then let us know and Navitas will approach your employer and do the necessary checks. It's really smooth, really easy process. We do that with a lot of companies. So we would ask you those two questions at the end of your coursework when you're ready to start your internship. So yes, you can do the 12-week internship at your company. It doesn't necessarily discount the 12 weeks, so you still need to do the 12 weeks, okay? But it will, in this case, it will be at your employer.
Okay, sure. I think that answers the question, which is you kind of flexible, right? You will ask the student two questions before the internship started. You want Navitas Professional to find a company for you to work for your internship, or if the student have already worked, then you will and wants to do internship at the current company, you will approach the employer if
That's right.
Everything is possible, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Now, the criteria is that we approach the company. It's quite minor. It's mostly three criteria. Your company has to be a full-time. It has to be a full-time position that you're employed with, which is usually 35 hours full-time. But for accounting and IT, I believe the minimum is 25 hours or at least 20 hours. So as long as you're doing 20 hours in accounting and IT, that's fine. And the last one is we'll do a check mid-course, which is a visit to your employer. That's all.
Thank you so much, David. I think that's all the questions. Yeah, that's all the questions that we have from all the participants. Thank you so much, David and Evan, for your time and for your presentation regarding professional year programs at Navitas Professional. And I believe here that everyone, all participants had great time and excited to find out more about all of your programs. And I just want to remind everyone, if you are interested in the resume workshop, we will have another event with Navitas Professional. We will announce it later about the time and the detail of the event, but stay tuned. And I just want to, if you want to know more about Navitas Professional, about the professional year programs, you can contact Superstar Education. We have offices in Sydney, Melbourne, and you can also contact us. Here is our contact number for Sydney office and Melbourne office. And I also want to remind you, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Superstar Education, and also to like our Facebook page to keep you updated with our events. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you, David and Evan. And see you in our next event. Take care and stay safe, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Superstar team.